Yeah, I was the one to remove it, and that was based on discussion. I actually basically forgot about adjusting that. The reason why it even went in the first place was not so much that it was not because Necromancer needed some special thing to. It's a common notion like that Necromancer is like weak or needs extra help, or because undead monsters exist, they need their, they have real problems or anything like that. That's a really strong book, and you don't have to be any kind of crazy hybrid. If you go Kiku, that's probably the easiest way. Kiku or Sif, those are the easiest ways to be like a relatively like quote unquote pure necromancer that just makes corpses or maybe casts bolts of drain and doesn't use melee. But yeah, it's true that necro is a hybridy start, but that the spell was added to that book so that we could test it because it was a complicated spell. And I thought, well, maybe we could leave it in and make other adjustments depending on how the spell turned out. But the spell is really strong, and Elliptic, after playing, was like, yeah, we really should remove it from the book because it's a universal spell that works on just anything. And those are relatively bad spells to have in a starting book. Because it makes the background too strong. It makes the background feel a little bit too samey, and it removes the excitement of finding new stuff. And not every background adheres to that. Like Fireball is a universal damage spell, but it's also a noisy spell with some trade-offs, and a lot of players don't even like to use it because of that. What do I use File on? File is good. It's reasonably decent if you've got, say, 8 to 10 Evo. The nice thing about File is 1, knockback. That can just be helpful. 2, it'll summon elementals, which you can use to block. So it can be very situationally good for getting a monster that you just don't want to be next to out of your face. If it doesn't knock them back, it'll make elementals, which will give you an escape route. It also makes water, which if the monster you're trying to escape from isn't giant or flying, that will slow down their movement. It will slow down their attack, so you can even fight them when they're floundering around in water. And of course it does damage. The damage isn't really strong until you start getting more Evo. Oh, and the other thing is water elementals have an engulf attack, which will silence monsters just like how it silences you. So if the elementals don't die and they manage to get in hits, they can silence anything like an Ancient Lich. Ancient Lich is a really common target in Zot to use a File on. It can block them away, and then they get engulfed and they can't cast spells. Yeah, File is nice for making water. It's something that people say is like, it's really weak, but if you're somebody who doesn't mind training up some basic Evo, it's generally a good item to carry around. It's an XP evoker, so it's something that you're not going to use every fight, but it is nice to have for really nasty stuff. I pretty much always end up using it a few times. Summon Ice Beast. Yes, summons are pretty universal damage spells, yeah. And that's just what summons are, unfortunately. There's really no way to fix that without completely redesigning summons. People complain about summons, and also talking about universal damage, Necromancer book has Animate Dead, which is also universal damage. Obviously it's limited in a way that summons aren't, but there's nothing that resists getting hit by a zombie for the most part. There's some monsters that are effective at killing zombies, but they don't have a way to resist zombie damage. And that's also true of summon spells. Getting some nice loot here. Yeah, IE comes up as the best start along with Berserker quite a lot. It's pretty crazy. And a lot of people hear that and are like, what? IE is terrible, what? But it's not. Berserker is a very tab-happy character. IE has just amazingly strong spells. Okay, so this has a rune door on this side. This is Minmay. I'm going to say right here, this is Minmay. This is your classic Minmay right here. Look at this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Minmay's the grid. I'm not going to be too sad about all this artifact jewelry though. Holy crap. I guess I should ID these. The Ring of the Lich Sworn. Okay. Wow, that is an oddly flavorful... It's an oddly flavorful ring. Froge concern indeed, Iggy. This is the wizard, Iggy. Wizard of Kiku. Got that weird dig vault with cacodemons. I know that vault. I know that vault well. That's a trap vault. Didn't it have a transporter? Wrong race. I'm on a streak, Iggy. I gotta extend the streak. Oh, here we go. Wizards can only be human. Yeah, that's why, because Freeze is the best starting direct damage spell, period. It's so good. A lot of people are scared because it's melee, but it like you pick adders that are one of the most dangerous early monsters. It slows in addition to damaging them without missing, it slows them so that you can move back and run away or continue damaging them. It might even slow giant geckos. I think it does. I think those guys are lizards too. Startelli, Arlek, C and Viz. I'll wait for an ID scroll to see this last one, because I'm not hurting for jewelry or anything. We got another nice little vault here. Another, what the heck? I'm getting all the loot. It's weird. Yeah, Ozo's is really good. That's a spell people are a little bit afraid to use because of the move penalty. Oh, speaking of identify. Oh no, more minus slaying. Afraid it's not going to cut it. Well, I don't think it actually depends on OP or not. It's actually just one of the very best for any race, pretty much. Unless you have some reason that you're terrible at casting ice magic. It's obviously, you know, what's good for stronger species is often also very good for the weaker species. OP actually have a pretty good early game because their constrict damage is really nice. They are not the worst early game species. There's definitely a lot better species, even on D1, but mummies and nagas. Oh, a harpy. It's unusual. Yeah, this thing is constantly moving out of PVC. Mumo. Everybody loves Mumo. Don't you dare say Mumo is weak. Talk bad about mummy fists. You obviously don't understand the power of mummy bandages, unarmed combat. Yeah, blade hands. I don't really like blade hands on Octopode because you don't have, well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, no, you lose your shield and that really sucks for an Octopode. So if I'm going to use transmutations, I'd prefer probably just to use Dragon Form. Yeah, the Mumo challenge is one of those things where I think it's it's difficult, but it's also it's more in the tedium, and it could be hard depending on what kind of player you are and maybe just how experienced you are. But I don't think it would actually be all that hard to win Mumo. It would just be tedious and maybe just not very fun. Okay, so we're gonna go to a lab. Oh yeah, Felid, yep. But I do like, I mean, I don't really like playing Felids because, well, they're Felids. Let's admit, they are not much fun to play. Okay, I have to be a little bit careful on this floor. Where is Orc, by the way? Oh, it is on D12. Got a really late Orc. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Dragon plus Ozo, you're good. You're basically in chainmail. Oh no, we've got a lot of cat lovers in this stream. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh yeah, except Felid of Quaz. That's a little much. But other Felids though. Here's our labyrinth. Going in. Got my stones, which I've been carrying for like 12 dungeon levels for some reason. Oh, that sounds really faint. Is that track just really low audio? Bada boom. How many do we got? 47. We should, there's a bunch of items in here. We should probably try to drop a chain weapon. Playing a plus move speed. Well, I think like Spriggans are actually fun, and Centaurs every now and again are kind of cool just to see something like really OP, I guess. It was fun watching Yogi play a Centaur actually. Mostly because Yogi plays like he's some kind of, he's like a bat out of hell when he plays. And yet he doesn't die, so it's kind of amusing if you play that way. I'm just watching, I'm like, oh, but that, oh, no. Oh my god, he didn't die. Yeah, dragon form is really good. It's something that people tend to you don't die except for every game. You die eventually. But, you know, not dead on D8, he's still going. Yeah, dragon form is something that people tend to avoid because they see the AC that you get, but one, you can use something like Ozo, and two, you have a billion HP, and three, you have a billion attack. Dead in 200 million, that is true. No matter what, if you take 200 million turns, you will die. I'm going to drop some of these junk scrolls. Immolation, junk. Ball, I hold on to. Leg, junk. Yeah, that's the other cool thing about Dragon Form is that you can cast spells very easily. Blade Hands gives you a casting penalty. You can also cast spells really well in Statue Form. The problem is being slow. That was the frustration I had with OPAC, is that spells got so much worse because I had that penalty. So you can dig in labs to make your life a lot easier. Also, if you get really lost and frustrated, you can randomly teleport. Oh wow, we're at the edge of the map. So this unbreakable wall means that we're at the edge, the map's edge. I don't really need to conserve dig charges or anything like that, so. But if I get at all kind of frustrated, basically I'm looking for stone. All right, so I hit a dead end here, so I'll just go ahead and dig. We'll just kind of keep moving. There's our stone. Once you get into the stone, you want to look for metal. Most of the people here know this. I'm just saying it in case anybody is not familiar with how labs work and maybe hasn't seen this game before. Oh, we hit another dead end, in which case you can basically, you know that the Minotaur is at the center. It's all like a giant circle radiating out from where the Minotaur is. If they're at the edge of the map, it gets a little bit weird, but if they're central, they're in this vault, and in a circle around that are these metal tiles, and the circle extends out further for stone, and then the rest of the map is rock. So you kind of just want to head over close to the area where you see stone, and if you have dig, it's much easier to do this movement because I got stuck there, but I just dug around. But I'm heading just roughly back into the stone area, and there's the first metal, so we're getting close. Once you get into the metal, you want to slow down because depending on the kind of vault, the Minotaur can just pop right around the corner, because the vault might just be the Minotaur standing on stairs. Some are actual structures though. This is the Minotaur. The item sensing is already showing me. So this shows one item, and that's because it's all in a big pile on the exit stairs. So some people, when they first do labs, get kind of confused. They go looking for the Minotaur if the Minotaur has wandered out, but the items are actually on the exit up. Of course, he can have picked up some items, so there's that. I'm just going to constrict him. Invisible. Oh, look at you. Minotaur wearing the Ring of Phasing. Well, aren't you clever? Aren't you clever, Mr. Minotaur? Yeah, he picked up loot. I have the Boots of Shielding. Now I'm going to have a matched set. Game's easy. All you got to do is find the Boots of Shielding, Ring of Phasing, 4 requirement scrolls. That's it. I usually turn off auto pick. People get kind of confused about what they picked up. One nice way to do that is to turn off auto pickup before you step on the piles here. And that way you can use the menu and actually see what you're picking up, which is kind of nice. Now I need to transform into an octopode. You have to use all these rings. Wow, it's a lot of wands. Glad he didn't pick up all the power wands. Look at all these books. Book of Death. Manual of Bows. That's a reference. Here's our Lamp of Fire. The Fenfolio. Well, I guess we'll just pick up all this stuff. The bows. With the manual, this might actually become kind of neat. Although I can only use a short bow, unfortunately. I don't want to go without a shield. We're already at 9 shields, holy crap. We're going to get to 15 in not much time. Plus 12. But yeah, I don't want to ditch a shield, so it's not really going to come into play too much. I'll probably just drop it. I already have boots? I do. Magic resist? Oh, we've got the Ring of Phasing. I don't really need wizardry right now for the spells I have. What spells? Summon Forest, Summon Hydra, that's a long ways away. Hydra form, lull. Dispel Undead, that is a very nice spell to have. We just don't really have spell levels right now. Excruciating Wounds. I can't use Pain on this artifact weapon. As cool as this Demon Whip is, it would be much more convenient just to have like a Demon Whip of Pain or something. And spell-wise, I can use pretty much any of these spells that I find because again, my training is all spread out. I will want Dispel Undead eventually. That is a really good spell to just kill a Lich with. It's probably going to have kind of bad spell power, but if I can find a Staff of Death, that will help. Summon Forest is also quite good. Quick search, Control F dot, nothing but stones and flesh. Yeah, well, not really gonna. I don't really care to like lose an inventory slot to the manual bows. Also, I don't want to get a bows title. That would be weird. Oh, Iggy's. He killed Nessos. Level 14. Is this the one? Where's Iggy gonna die? Snake, perhaps? We don't know what layer branches he has. Shoals? Could be shoals. Orc should be pretty easy, but will he get paralyzed by an orc sorcerer? Perhaps mobbed by demon summons by an orc high priest and smited to death? Will it be orc warlord with a crossbow? Will it be a shock serpent in snake pits? Snake and spider. Spider is if you're relatively less experienced, I guess spider would probably be overall just the smartest. Snake has shock serpents, which are one of the very most dangerous layer branch monsters that there are. So if you see those, it's very helpful, although not required, to have Arlek. But remember that shock serpents don't see invis and have low MR, so you can hex them. So if you can confuse them with a spell, with a wand, absolutely do it. They have a retaliation attack that hits like an AoE whenever they take damage. And if you're taking that damage, even if you're damaging them, it's painful. And if they're attacking you and lightning bolting you and you're taking the retaliation damage, it is horrifying. Yeah, shock serpents really take the cake. Also, sharpshooters are pretty dangerous. They're slow moving, but they can hit you from edge of Los. I think they have portal projectiles, so they can hit you behind other Nagas and snakes. So snake will be the harder one. It's just that in Spider, everything is fast, and that can really throw spellcasting characters for a loop, because everything can just chase you down super fast. But overall, each individual spider monster, entropy weavers you'll find in there, and they are, if you don't handle them correctly, they are scary. Yeah, orb spiders, if you're careful, you shouldn't have a problem with them, but they're easy to underestimate. The orbs, they do a ton of damage if they hit you. But all the spiders, for the most part, are easily hexable, and vast majority do not see invis. Only the demonic ones, the crawling ones, gosh, I even forget what their names are. Something demonic crawlers is what they're called. Those resist almost everything, see invis, and have good MR. So, and they also have relatively decent melee attack and are fast. So you just need a sort of a way to deal with them. They're not that hard, but you can underestimate those. And then of course, like Moths of Wrath. Oh, also, speaking of Alek. Okay, what's my game doing here? Jeez. Speaking of Alek, shock wasps in Spider. They are relatively rare and they only show up solo, not in packs, but they do a lot of damage. They also don't see invis and are susceptible to hexes. So it's somewhat similar to shock serpents, but they're just less scary than those. Yeah, spark wasps. I think I said shock wasps, but they're called spark wasps. Yeah, Spriggans don't have HP. It is really deceptive. And you can kind of forget how low that HP is. Alright, control. A back on. There's a fun command that you can use. Although this may not work. I think I ran this before for Iggy, and it didn't work. Oh, there we go. This is how Iggy will die. Iggy the Destroyer, level 16. Slain by a bone dragon on Swamp 4. Ah, we didn't see. I called out all those monsters, but that's how it'll actually happen. What it does is it looks for milestones. It looks through milestones of similar characters not played by you, and looked at how that died, and looked at that died at a later XL, and then gets a random one and applies it to you. So it's not even guessing, it's a pure joke command. Yeah, this isn't actually right. We want to see how... I wonder if this will work. If you can actually add stuff like this to it. Oh, it doesn't work. Yeah, it's predicting something about Yogi's... Yeah, it often does make quite good guesses, actually, because it looks up the... it uses the combo, and... oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna... We got marked. I'm not too worried about it, but there's not much cleared on this level. Alright, it didn't... I have an artifact. I think it's an amulet, though. It's gonna be real tough. Oh, look who it is. Well, these guys don't have banish, but... yeah, I lost an ogre that would have been a 1-in-1, potentially, for a similar... in a similar situation. It was really annoying. I let the dumb thing hit me, and I didn't need to. It was really stupid, and I got banished on D1 and didn't manage to survive. If you do get banished on D1, then odds of you escaping are pretty slim. It was frustrating. Some ice blasting. Wow, everything is at level 8. Might actually take a point of strength, because there's a possibility that I will... Can I paralyze you? 54%. Okay, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back.